Welcome to another edition of Our City. I hope everyone enjoyed the holiday season, and on behalf of my wife Nancy and our daughter Jacqueline, we'd like to extend to all of you and your families a very healthy and happy new year. A few things going around the city of Elizabeth in the upcoming week. On Saturday, January 19th, it's going to be the 25th annual Hoops to End Homelessness basketball tournament. This takes place at the Elizabeth High School in the Dunn Sports Arena, located at 600 Pearl Street. It's hosted by the Elizabeth Coalition to House the Homeless, and this event will kick off at 3:30 in the afternoon with the law enforcement officers facing the Elizabeth firefighters. The next game at 4:30 will be between PSE&G, Public Service Electric and Gas Company, versus Infinium, a large company on the border of Elizabeth and Linden. There'll be a break for entertainment at 5 o'clock in the evening. Then the next game will begin at 6:30. This will face the Elizabeth High School girls team versus Benedictine Academy. Following that game at 8 o'clock in the evening will be the Elizabeth High School boys versus the St. Mary's High School team. Every student that donates gloves, hats, or socks will receive free admission. For more information, you can call Fran Sullivan at 908-337-9287. And keep in mind that on Monday, January 21st, City Hall will be closed in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. National Holiday. So keep in mind that Monday, January 21st, City Hall will be closed. If you need more information concerning these events or any other events, please call our Public Information Office at 908-820-4124. Now, the beginning in the first week's show, we brought back something that I'm sure a lot of people are talking about in New Year's resolutions. The topic of this show is going to be Shaping Elizabeth. I'm pleased to be joined by Alane McCahey, who's the Senior Director of Community Initiatives. Alane, welcome.
Thank you.
And also Miss Nancy Blumenfeld from the Elizabeth Public Library. Thank you, Nancy. And Miss Corey Wunju. Did I say that right, Corey?
It's Corey Wuja.
Corey Wuja. Sorry, Corey. Okay. I practiced and I knew I was going to mess it up. So, and Corey, you're with Shaping Elizabeth, right? So, first of all, everyone's made New Year's Eve and New Year's Day resolutions, right. But the three of you have been doing this for a long time. So what is Shaping Elizabeth? And Elaine, we'll start with you. What is Shaping Elizabeth?
Well, Shaping Elizabeth is a coalition of partners and the community to improve the health and well-being of the residents of Elizabeth. We've been working together since 2014, and our main objective is to improve health through healthy eating, physical activity, in order to reduce obesity and chronic disease. So it fits right in with people's, hopefully, New Year's resolutions.
And how many people keep those resolutions, do you know?
Well, probably not as many as should, and so we're going to help try and support some of that with this new initiative we're trying called the Passport to Health. And that's what we're going to kick off on February 9th at the Elizabeth Public Library.
So the Passport to Health is going to be the slogan for 2019?
Correct. Yes. Last year we did A Better You in 2019, and we had a great response to that. And so this year we decided to continue it with a Passport to Health and be a little more intentional about tracking and helping people keep their resolutions or their goals.
So Corey, tell me how you're getting involved in the Passport for Health for 2019.
Well, I'm a registered dietitian, and my role is talking about preventing childhood obesity, also talking about healthy eating habits you can do and partake in to reduce your risk for cancer and heart disease. I think what happens during the new year, sometimes people make these resolutions and they feel, they go a little off eating extra or indulging, and they think, that's it. So our role with a Passport to Health is to setting goals and small, simple steps that you can do to eat healthier throughout the whole entire year.
And how do you find that, Corey? Do you find people willing to listen? That's probably the biggest part, right?
Sure. And, if you make these, these blanket statements that, you have to lose X amount of pounds in X amount of time, it is very discouraging and difficult for people. But if you say things like, add an extra serving of fruit or vegetables during the day. It's smaller steps, more measurable, and easier to sustain.
So eat more greens, huh?
Eat more greens.
So Nancy, Elaine talked about the library. What's the library's role in kicking off a Passport to Health?
Well, we're providing the space. We have a large auditorium, and the reason why the library is participating with the space is because the public really loves the library. They view the library as not only just as a safe place, but as a place for information that's authoritative, that's accurate, that they can really trust. Also, the library is a place for people who might feel a little bit disenfranchised to come and feel like they have a sense of community. We're part of building the social infrastructure. And with health, it's hard when you're doing it on your own, so it's nice to come in and talk to somebody about information, or you might meet a neighbor, or you might make a friend who might say to you, hey, what are your numbers like? These are my numbers. Oh, you need a doctor in this area? Oh, I can recommend someone. You don't have a ride? Oh, I live around the corner from you. I can take you to the doctor. So we can help people build up on a community, because a health, it's a building blocks. Not one person makes a community healthy. It's people building up together, watching out for each other, taking accountability with each other, that's going to make a better, healthier community, and the library is a part of that.
You know, Nancy, we had 400,000 visitors in the library last year, which is a remarkable number of people to come in and out. Because I thought, you know, in the old days, you used to go there, do your homework, look up books, and now with Google and all these search engines, but people seem to still use the library.
And also because of that, the library is also evolving to be more of a social referral service. People come in, hey, where can I go for SNAP? I'm having problems with homelessness. I have a mentally ill child. Where can I go for support? So they come to us because they know that we have good, reliable information. We've partnered with a lot of agencies and supportive groups such as Shaping Elizabeth, the Gateway Y, the Mental Health Association, Partnership for Child and Maternal Health, and the Bayway Family Success Center. And through this, we're able to build up on our referrals, and we're able to help people find resources and agencies that they may not normally be aware of.
So Elaine, since Nancy started talking about partners with the library, one of the things you mentioned in your opening comments were the partners that you deal with.
Right.
What other partners are you dealing with?
Well, Nancy mentioned some of them. I think that we've been working with the City of Elizabeth. We work with the YMCA. Housing is a huge partner of ours. We do a lot of work down in Ravalac in the Bayway area with housing. Trinitas is one of our partners, Groundwork Elizabeth, the public school system. We have over 40 partners. So that's where, when people join Shaping Elizabeth, that's where they learn about the other partners, they network, they collaborate, so that people can begin to work together in order to improve the health. None of us are going to be able to do it alone, and I think that's what the why, when we became the organization to start this, we believed that we couldn't do it alone, and we needed to build this coalition in order to improve health. Not one agency is going to be able to change the lives of people, but if we all work together, we have a better shot at helping people.
So Corey, how long have you been involved with Shaping Elizabeth? Have you been there since 2014?
Yes.
So tell me about what you think the focus has been and how it's changed since 2014.
Well, I think we are really bringing services to where people live and where they
We're not making them come to us, we're going to them.
Right, definitely. Okay. And I think that's made a big difference. And showing that, even if you don't live in Midtown, that we are here to support you. We will go out. We will go out to the port. We will go out to Bayway and bring services.
So talk to me about the priorities as a dietitian. Is it strictly the diet? Do you work in exercise? Tell me what your priorities would be from your perspective.
Well, I think any one thing by itself is not going to work. So definitely eating well and moving will give you the best benefit. Again, like I said, things that I focus on for nutrition is eating more fruits and vegetables, and they don't have to be fresh. It could be frozen. It could be canned. Low sodium canned is fine. Frozen is always great. It's especially if things are not in season. We always say that berries are great. They're great for brain health. But right now, berries are not in season, but frozen berries are just as great, and the price is always stable for frozen berries. So fresh fruits and vegetables, like you said, leafy greens are great. Eating more whole grains, whole grain bread, whole grain pasta, brown rice instead of white,
So, Cora, you're really good at telling us what we should eat. What are some of the things we probably should stay away from?
Well, you know what? Nobody likes to hear what
I know, but we have to talk. We can't just ignore that part of the equation. So, well, like, what's the worst food? Is it fried? Is it like hot dogs? What's like the worst?
Well, some of the things that are processed are not so great. So, cured and processed meats like hot dogs or
Hamburger or ham or cold cuts, right? Yeah.
are not the greatest. But I hate to talk about things that you can't have, because I always talk about potato chips. In my family, we have the...
I had a bag at lunch today.
Yeah, we have the potato chip gene. You know, we love
do.
potato chips. So if someone said to me, Corey, you could never, ever eat potato chips, that's all I would ever think about is potato chips, potato chips. And then I'd go out to the quickest store and buy the biggest bag and eat the whole thing. So, we talk about moderation. So if I do have potato chips...
You can't eat one.
Right, I'll get a small bag or have it only when I'm out, keep it out of the house, because I would say an open bag of potato chips in my house is an empty bag. So, keep it the smaller portion sizes, only have it when you're out or at an event. And then, focus, I always put the focus on the good stuff.
Okay.
So again, anytime you can grab a piece of fruit, that's a great snack, great dessert.
Good. I want to thank you ladies for being here. We're going to take a break,
Okay.
do a couple commercials and come back. Hopefully the commercials are about healthy eating. Please stay with us after these messages, back with more about Shaping Elizabeth. Welcome back to our city. A couple of things going on here. We're talking about shaping Elizabeth. And Elaine, one of the things we talked about at the break, the priorities for shaping Elizabeth.
Well, the priorities have always been this healthy eating and physical activity to improve health. But I think over the past few years, we've really concentrated on, and we learned that we couldn't teach people about nutrition if they didn't have enough food in the first place. So food insecurity and becoming food secure is...
Sound like Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Right, yes. We want to make sure that if we're going to educate you about eating healthy, that you have the opportunity to buy and purchase healthy food at affordable prices, that even our food pantries are offering healthier options with information, and that people have accessible to the fruits and vegetables that Corey's talking about. That's why we talk about canned and frozen food. It's not because fresh food is not always available, although we do the mobile market that gives people fresh fruits and vegetables monthly down at Bayway. But that became a real priority for us, and we've decided to do a food policy coalition. So we really begin to look at this aspect of how we could help people have more access to affordable events.
So how do people get involved in shaping Elizabeth?
Well, we have coalition meetings every other month beginning in January on the third Thursday of the month. People can come out and they're at the Elizabeth Public Library in the morning on Thursday mornings at 9:30. People can come to any meeting. People go on our Facebook page, Shaping Elizabeth, at www.facebook/shapingelizabeth, so they can send a message to us. They can contact me directly at the YMCA at 908-249-4806. So we just want partners to bring partners. The more people engaged, the better the work will be.
So Nancy, she talked about partners, you talked about partners. What's the benefit, even in the library, what's the benefit to having partners in an organization?
Oh, there's many benefits, and one of them is that we get to bring in quality programming from professional clinicians from local agencies, such as we had people clinicians coming in from Trinitas to talk about high blood pressure, to talk about sleep problems. We had partnership for child and maternal health. They came in and they did a baby shower for expectant mothers. It's a way of bringing good, quality, authentic, valid information from organizations within the community that people really trust. And part of that is getting people to buy into this is the trust factor.
So the decision to go in the direction of a passport to health, was that a collective decision, or how did you come about that?
It was a collective decision. We have a group that works with the work we're trying to do out of the library. It was a collective decision to begin to use the library as a focal point in the community, as Nancy said, where people already go, people feel safe, people trust it. So that's what became a collective decision, and then we decided to do this Passport to Health to really begin to engage the community in their own health.
So how does it work? How does a Passport to Health work?
So it's going to begin on February 9th is our kickoff meeting. We're going to have 4 quarterly events. Everyone, we have a male version and a female version of a Passport to Health. Everyone will receive one, and it will...
Is the male version in blue?
It is in blue, yes. This isn't the finished product, but we're going to start with Know Your Numbers with the American Heart and the American Stroke, Know Your Numbers, so that people begin to know what their blood pressure is, know what their cholesterol is, know what their A1C is, so that they know their glucose levels. And then between each quarterly meeting, people will be able to go to programs or workshops to help them. So they'll take their passport, they'll go to a workshop, let's say on blood pressure maintenance and monitoring and how you can control it better. They'll get stamped on their passport, so it's just like going on a trip. They'll get a stamp in their passport, and then we're hoping to encourage people to attend 3 or 4 events between each quarterly event. Come back, we'll celebrate success, we'll share the stories where people need help, and then at our next one, we'll have a different focus. So it'll be cancer and cancer screenings at our second event. And each event will have a different sort of focus, and we'll also focus on childhood. So we're doing childhood obesity, we're doing autism. Each event will have a different focus. And then our hope is to encourage people, like Nancy said, to build social connections, to have partners in this, to keep it going throughout the year.
So tell me about the programming. How is it important to the community? You want to start on that? Corey?
Well, information is always power, and we don't want to just talk at people. We also want to give them the tools to empower individuals to take charge of their own health. So if they do find out a number, say their blood pressure is elevated, what does that mean? And what should I do to take care of that? And what resources are in the community?
You could probably work on a better diet for them, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. That's probably one step.
Yes.
Yeah.
So reducing sodium, and then again, what does that mean? What does reducing sodium mean?
It means cutting out your potato chips. So the library gets involved in this, Nancy, and why the library as opposed to, some other organization?
The library is a safe place. The library is full of information. It's also a good place of comfort, sense of community. We're more than just information. We're more than just books. We're movies. We're brain games every Friday where adults can come and they can socialize and they could feel like they're part of a group, that they're part of a community. And again, that's part of the Passport to Health because that involves mental health. When people feel like they're part of something, their mental health is a lot better. We provide access to the different partners, and we're just here to help people improve their life, whether they're looking for information, whether they're just looking for something leisure, such as a movie where they want to borrow a book, or they just want to feel a sense of community. They want to come to a concert, they want to volunteer, and we're here to help you with whatever it is it takes that you need to help you.
So what do you think the community, how do they react? Do you get feedback from them, Alane?
We do, yes. So we always do evaluations. We always talk to the community after. And I think last year, like I said, we did a Better You in 2018, and that got a very good response. We did different events. This year, we're trying to tie them together. Already, we put out the registration, and we have over 30 people already registered to come on to our first event. So I do think they're reacting to it positively, and from listening to people and hearing them, they want information. They want this support. They don't want to feel like they're just out there alone. And I think that's what we built into Passport to Health. Is we're not going to say, come to this, and then goodbye, see you later, good luck. We're going to say, come to this, let's build connections, let's see what we can do, tell us what you need, and then we'll be able to help you get that. We're going to keep in touch through emails throughout this. We're going to send information out, so it's all part of a network.
We've done a combination of Weight Watchers and the 12-step program, I think.
It's sort of a combination.
They gotta do that, and then you have them come together and talk about their experiences.
Yes, and we didn't. Right. We didn't talk a lot about physical activity, but that will be a piece of this. We're going to offer programs, again, at the library, at different places that people can come that are free. They can get physically active. We want to encourage people to use the Elizabeth River Trail as the weather gets nicer, and we want to do walks along that. So that will be a huge piece of what we're trying to do with this as well.
We're working with the Port Authority in New York City to try to take it over the Goethals Bridge.
I've seen that
We're trying.
And I spoke to Groundwork Jonathan about that and stuff, and seen some of the pictures. I come over the Goethals Bridge every day, so that's probably.
And we're also taking it behind the library.
Yes.
And we're going to connect through that way.
And it's connected through housing, so it's connecting all the schools. It connects to the schools, so it's going to connect many of the places where people already are and want to get to. So that's what we're hoping to do, is show people how they can get to places using that river trail and walking and getting some physical activity that makes sense for their lives.
Corey, one of the things we don't have in here, but what we've done, Elizabeth, is we have behind the Elmore Library, we have the whole garden thing going on. And we also have, in every school, we have beds. It's the education and the fantastic effort of people growing their own. It's kind of going back in hundreds of years. Everybody's starting to grow their own stuff again. They have their own bed. What?
We find that, especially for children, if they have a part in growing the food, they're more likely to eat it. So, many times you think, young children, they're kind of picky, they don't want to eat vegetables. But if they have a hand in growing that spinach, they're more likely to taste it and eat it.
They will.
Yes.
I like spinach, but there's a lot of. I don't like broccoli, but there's a lot of kids that like spinach, right? So what do you have planned for the future?
we have lots of things planned. Like I said, with the Passport to Health, we hope to engage people in their own health, both personally and to advocate for things they need for their own health. So we're going to do some programs with the housing to help train people to better understand how they can get involved and how their voice can be heard, because I think that's an important piece for sustainability, is to get the communities engaged in coming to activities and coming to things. We want to engage them in being part of the solution, really. So that's part of it. Also, like I said, we want to use the river trail and get people out walking. So we want to try and plan some events starting in spring that's do like a walk with campaign. So maybe you'd want to
Take a walk with me. I walk every day. I do 4.2 miles every day, so I have no problem walking.
So maybe we would want to do something like that, or do sort of a history. Jonathan Phillips explained all the history along the river trail to some of our partners. I think that would be a great thing for some of the community to know.
Well, he's old enough. He probably saw the Indians coming up the...
Everything, yes, he has seen everything. And our community gardens continue to grow, like you said. We have also have a 50-bed urban garden at the Maravillac Manor. So these are all things that we're going to try and do, as well as influence for food security. We're going to start to work with store owners about the big supermarkets, about how we can help and expand health through the supermarkets, through signage, through marketing, through some...
Are all the events held at the library, by the way?
All of these events are held at the library, but some of the others won't be. They'll be in the community. They're Trinitas at the Y, at different places that we have.
Okay. And one more, how do you register for the event again?
You go to our Shaping Elizabeth Facebook page at www.facebook Shaping Elizabeth, and on Eventbrite, we have a registration where people can get tickets, free tickets to the event. Like I said, we have 30 people registered.
There's no cost for this, right?
No cost, no. Everyone is welcome, and at each event, people are going to get a tool to help them. The first event, we hope to give everyone a healthy recipe book so that people will walk out with something that they can do within the next 2 months to help make changes within their life.
Good. Ladies, I want to thank you for taking the time to join me on the show this evening. I look forward to all of your work in Shaping Elizabeth and educating the people of our city. I think it's terrific. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank Corey, I want to thank Alane, and I want to thank Nancy for taking the time to join us on the show this evening talking about Shaping Elizabeth. And I hope you'll join us on February 9th and get in shape. We'll see you next week on another edition of Our City.